morning, people. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Egari mujirengera. Yazeo nyo. Pia. I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah. Ndi mu number 5 JK. I mean number 5. Yesterday na leso likisola linya wano kasiri mu 2. Even my joy is back. Yesterday I had lost like 2 kgs. Now I have to go to the gym and bring them back. When the car is not in good condition. Mirembe jikugwa kapasa akapya mukalaba. Bogo mwaka chi about 2010 I think. Good morning, Kenneth. Yeah, so the baby is back. The Corolla is back on the road. Yeah, so I want probably it was in that condition because of my my negligence. By the way, I just learned the things I normally tell you. Things I normally tell people to do attends in this CV quarter. Yeah, I was negligent. But apart, I already. Good morning, Ivan. I'm planning to buy a new engine for this car next year, around June, I think, May or June. So because I'm planning to buy a new engine, I was negligent with this engine. But it didn't really take a lot of money. The things that I put there are the normal things that we do at service. I'm going to upload the video today. Yeah. Good morning, Seth. So, because I'm planning to buy a new engine, there are things that I abandoned, I did not do, and those are the things that were causing me trouble yesterday. They are the things that were causing me trouble all along. Okay, for starters, there was the threads I talked about yesterday. I of course had trouble with those threads. Zariku top cover, where the the bolt that helps put one of the coils in place, we were having trouble, but we got new threads put in, and of course we bought new plugs. I went to Toyota Uganda and bought new plugs. By the way, guys, you guys go to Toyota. Yeah, if you're driving a Toyota, go to Toyota. If you're driving a Nissan, go to Nissan and buy spare parts from there. They are like the plugs at Chiseka Market. They were selling me plugs at 80k. I went to Toyota and bought my plugs at 60,100 shillings. Hey, 60,100 shillings for 4 plugs. Each means each plug was about 15 over. Each plug was about 15,005 shillings, 15,020 shillings, something like that. Yeah. And then we put the plugs there, and then we realized that it wasn't changing. Yeah. If you're sending me a message on WhatsApp and you're watching now, let's chat after. I'm doing this thing for like an hour, so we can connect after. I'm going to be in town for the guys that want to see me today. Today I'm not fixing my Corolla up. It's in tip-top condition. So for the guys that want to look for cars, come we go look for cars. Nje tugende tunoonye moroka. Namwe mwevuge. Yeah, that's the Fielder 2008 model. That one. Those that don't know how you differentiate them, you see the lights, you see the shape. Good morning, Sarah. Yeah. Good morning, Seth. Hey, you guys are doing well. Me, I'm okay now. You know, when you love your car and it's not in good condition, you can't be okay. I even lost 2 kilos in like one day, but now I'm back. But all in all, I actually realized that I really need to buy a new engine so that I relax. Why don't I feel bad that I'm going to buy a new engine? It's because I've driven this car for a year, and for this a year and some few months, and for the time that I've driven it, it has never broken down on the road. And the distance I've driven in a year, a person that lives in Namugongo drives it for 2 or 3 years. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. This car has been a workhorse. Hey, Munange, morning, Joan. Some of us, our bodies are bad. You know, my body is full of gym, and muscle. When you build muscle and stress don't work together. So you go to the gym and build muscle, you gain like those 2 kgs of muscle. The moment you get stressed, you can lose them. That's why the guys that go to gym actually use supplements sometimes, because supplements keep your weight in check, keep the muscles you have gained in check. And probably that's why they kind of overeat. It's very hard to maintain muscle. Me, if I don't go to the gym, I can be too small. So I lost my 2 kgs yesterday. Today after work, I'll definitely go to the gym for like an hour or 2. Yeah. Still, for the guys that want to look for cars on weekend, on Saturday I just realized I have a meeting in the afternoon at my office, so we can probably link up and then we have a discussion. So that Christmas day ngiranga temuna funa moroka. Mujje tufune moroka. Nange mfune kasente. Yeah. So far I've not had a bad experience with people that have helped buy cars. I always serve their interests. That's probably why I don't have a bad experience as yet. I have only one sort of bad experience, which is not bad. One of the people with whom we bought cars, JK, gawe sinye. Kati JK for you has a weight problem, that you get fat even from water. You'd be making money here in Uganda. For me, I've lost business because I'm not big. You know, Ugandans and their biases, that fat people have held money. That's one of the reasons why I struggle and go to the gym. For me, the gym is like, the gym is part of my life, because that's one way I try to kind of look a little money. Because in the Nebuendi Amasabu again Kanachi, I don't grow fat. Sister growing up fat. So now muscle fattens me up a little. Katechintawanya with gym is time. If I could go to the gym every day, I would, and lift weights every day. Sometimes you get too busy and you can't. Katigwejeke with the weight problem. In Uganda, it would not be a problem, it's a blessing. I know a friend of mine that even took makerenda to grow fat. You joke. Nali amakerenda ageje because yali akoyo obwavu bantu nga bamunyoma bamanyi takwatanga ku sente. He's an electrical engineer, so akola wiring ya bizimbe bichi. So when he grew fat, he started getting more business. Are you going to the game park? No. I'm in town, by the way. I'm in Boise now. Yeah. So okay, where are my other comments? There is a comment I didn't read. You've driven a while and it's not lagging. Hope you are today. Ivan, this car is now in tip-top condition. Okay, let me try to go through the process. So yesterday we got to, I thought I had seen the problem in its entirety. Of course, the top cover was leaking, so the oil would go to this. Okay, so we realized the top cover seal was actually still okay. So I did not buy top seal. Like I told you guys, I have people that I can trust with things. Nyinaba makanika abobwongo, nyinaba amanyi abakozesa amanyi nnyo, nyinaba atetenkanya kati ngabo omukyala abatetenkanya nnyo because they normally don't have resources. That's why I told you, cars from the villages, you should buy and you know what you're going to go to. Because bamakanika bomukyalo batetenkanya nnyo. So yesterday nakoze makanika obwongo. And of course the top cover seal wasn't replaced. It was still okay. So we bought silicone and we took the top cover and we put new threads in there, and we got a new bolt, even nail. Yeah, we got a new nail. Sounds funny, but that thing, and we came and cleaned out the oil, and of course after doing that we replaced the plugs, the old plugs. But then the mechanic was like, Arthur, you should buy new plugs. And I said, I'll buy new plugs tomorrow from Toyota, because I'm used to buying things from new original things, because the river we are buying about to the walls. So and what happened was I took a border to Toyota. I documented that process, by the way. For the first time nange nkozinga abantu ba TikTok, I recorded a video of me on a border, and then I went to Toyota, and then I stole some videos of myself in Toyota, because those guys, for PR purposes, you can't just record videos. Yeah, and I bought all the 4 plugs at 60,100. Yeah, and then I brought them, so we put the new plugs in there, but somehow the car still didn't have power. And it confused us. And you remember, there is an article I wrote on the website buykakampala.com of the things that make your car lose power. Apparently I was skipping it myself, and these are things I tell people: choose an air cleaner, and the air cleaner is one thing that can make your car lose energy, lose power. But the air cleaner is clogged. Why? So and I was skipping that. I last changed my air cleaner last year. You can imagine. I last changed my air cleaner in November last year. And you can imagine, every day I drive to my game park, what Martha calls a game park. I drive 7 kilometers in the morning of dust. I drive 7 kilometers in the evening of dust. And I haven't changed my air cleaner for a year. That's very negligent of me. That's very idiotic of me. And I hadn't changed the air cleaner. So he put the new plugs, okay? And the car was still lagging until the mechanic said, "Oh man, you can take to air cleaner, no? Or Fugenga temuli air cleaner." And yeah, we removed the air cleaner, and I drove the car without the air cleaner, and trust me, the car was wow. And then we realized the air cleaner was a problem, so I tried to go buy air cleaner somewhere, some of those petrol stations along the road where my office is, and there were no air cleaners. So you know, normally when you at the petrol stations, you pay the guy some sasude, because I knew I was going. Navu de ona antu nuli langa ngenda. Those are in his heart nagaba basajja beka. Samuna big guy again, and I went. So afterwards we drove with the mechanic to a shop, and I bought a new air cleaner, and I put it in there. And since then, brothers and sisters, my muscle is coming back. I'm gaining back my muscle. After work today, I'm going to come to the gym for like an hour and so that's what happened, guys, yesterday. The engine didn't really have any problem, but the engine is actually old. Yeah, younger your engine, it's old, and I've overworked it. So I think it's time I reward this car with a new engine. Yeah, you got it. But of course, guys, I've been telling you the process you need to go through to change an engine. Chisoka, the engine has to have paperwork, receipts and all from where they bought it, because it has an engine number. Then you of course have to apply to URA to you apply to URA to tell them, okay, I would like to change an engine, because that's okay. The one thing that URA doesn't allow you to change on your car is the Kayumba. You can't change the chassis, but you can change an engine. So you apply to URA, they inspect your car, and then they allow you, okay, you can change. And then they even change the particulars in the logbook. They say, okay, this is the new engine number now, this is the new engine in the car. So I'll go through all that process and change the engine, but that's around next year. Still, I'll document that. Yesterday you talked about the air cleaner. Yeah, I did talk about the air cleaner. Nayanga, you'll be surprised, Mose. I've been talking about the air cleaner. Air cleaner last year. Imagine the kind of distance I drive this car every day. Now I resolved I'm going to be changing my air cleaner every 2 services. Sometime back I asked about your opinion about doing service from Toyota if you own one, but you weren't. Munage Toyota ya bay. Yesterday when I went to buy plugs, abasajja babadde ku Toyota bali abasajja ndozanga ne ku mulimu ne suit gyayambala bagigula ku mulimu okitegeera guys that drive ministers, guys that drive ministry cars, NGO cars like UN. So you can't expect that you can afford doing service from Toyota. Me, I don't do service from Toyota, but there are particular things I buy from Toyota. Okitegeera. Like now, if you drive a car that has a CVT gearbox, hey, let me change and you see me. You see how I lost my 2 kilos. And now I'm even wearing my son's shirts so that I don't look like a malnourished. So, like, if you're driving a car that has a CVT gearbox, I think one of the things, or remember how I lost my 2 kgs? So, if you're driving a car that has a CVT gearbox, I would actually recommend that you go and buy your CVT gearbox oil from Toyota. Or if you're driving a Nissan with a CVT gearbox, I'd recommend that you go to Nissan and buy CVT gearbox oil. If you drive a Kia, you go to Kia Motors, buy CVT gearbox oil from them. Normally they'll ask you what car are you driving, what's the chassis number and all those things, and then they give you, because when I went to buy plugs, like always, what they ask for is the chassis number. Me, I have my logbook in the phone. I have a picture of it, so I just zoom into the chassis number, I give him, and surprisingly, these guys, it never changes. The same plugs I bought from them last year are the same plugs they gave me. It doesn't change a bit. So you go with the chassis. Of course, some plugs are more expensive than others. But if you went to buy plugs for the fielder, you'll buy the plugs at around 400,000. Why? They are different. They are longer. They are pointier. Yeah, but it's totally worth it, guys. Temugula plugs from Chiseka market. They are not bad. They will work for you. But plugs from Toyota are much better. Me, I know. Air cleaner. Now I'm thinking the next time I do service, I'm going to change the fuel filter as well. I'm going to change the fuel filter because, and then the other thing I realized, guys, I'm going back. I know I was telling you guys, go buy fuel from. But the reason you should be buying fuel from any other petrol station should be a promotion. Other than fuel, so that you save there. I want you to recommend a trusted garage to my wife. I want to recommend, I don't know what, she's a new driver, woman can easily be fleeced. Okay, I can share a number of my mechanic that I trust in town. Atajja babbanyo atenga wa bwongo. Okitegeera sometimes ama mechanic anabo olumu babba nga tabategedde na omuntu mubbi. Nenga necha abadde akanika takola ki. Tachimanyi. So I'll give you a number of my mechanic. The one I was working with yesterday. Wa bwongo. Ne bwaba akubbi takubba nnyo just know buli muntu abba. Kati nawe when you're working you find people to actually fleece off if you find that you're fleeced. Yesterday we were with someone ngagamba nti ba mechanic ababbi, and I told him the way life works is that the way life works is that if you feel like you're cheated by someone, you should also find someone to cheat. That's how life works. Why we feel that people sometimes are cheating us? Of course, what we about being new, what we mechanical about be like something is you see how I bought plugs at 60,000. Someone can tell you plugs at Toyota at 300k, and they go and buy them at 60. They give you at 300, and you buy because you know it's Toyota product. You get it, but there are some of those about be so big. What's the But the way my mechanic actually charges, this is something I'm teaching him to do. And when you send your wife, for example, and they charge, because my mechanic will charge you for consultation before he does anything. He will charge you 20,000 to check the car, because I tell you don't want to go to a mechanic and then they end up selling you spare that you don't need. So you pay the 20,000 consultation so that you don't get cheated. That's why I tell you, me when I work with him, that's why you realize that the top cover seal was okay and he said it's okay. Now for another mechanic, he will say, let's go buy a top cover seal. Bichi. So he will sell you a top cover seal that you would ideally buy at 20k, he'll sell it to you at 40. So he has covered the 20k that would have charged you in consultation. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So my mechanic will definitely charge you guys consultation fee. Either for the people that have given him to fix for them, he normally says, you want me to come and check it? You send me fuel and my consultation. You get, and they send it to his, because me, I'm trying to get it into him that okay, we need to be professional if people are going to respect us, so that you don't cheat people because you're trying to make sure you buy milk for your kids at home. So my mechanic will charge you consultation, the one in town, the one mechanic that I can trust for any kind of problem. I've told you I have like 3 mechanics in town, one for each. There are mechanics that I know where the cheap things are. So when I don't have very good money, I go to them because they know where the cheap things are. Then there are these mechanics that I know so, but this one that I will share with you, because for him I know he knows where to go to get it fixed. But there are mechanics that will cheat you, at least and I don't want that for any of you guys. So you can WhatsApp me and I share the number of this mechanic, and you can call him up. But please guys, don't bargain on consultation fees. Don't bargain on consultation fees. You see how hospitals that charge consultation because already Dr. Abasa sued through the consultation fee, so they will not struggle to actually give you medicines. That's why you find that some hospitals, because you pay consultation 50k, the doctor will actually tell you, you'll be okay. Patrick, bring back your comment. Yesterday, okay, I talked about the air cleaner. Okay, this is spam. I need to block this person. I need to block that. I don't know, and it keeps changing account names. That's why he can actually come and keep on commenting that those things. Yeah. So but anyway, I wrote an article yesterday after we fixed this car on the website, Buy a Car Kampala. You can go and read it. Good morning, Patrick. You can go and read that article that I wrote. It's and Patrick, we did not finish our conversation yesterday. Yeah, when you called me, we were drive testing this car after. So I just when I told you Soko vehicle, I was, because the mechanic was driving, so I just wanted him to change and sit in the back. I had a noise from the boot, so I wanted him to sit behind and listen to that noise in the boot. And apparently it's just the boot that needs to be tightened. The car really has no problem. But guys, this Corolla Mojireke, someone wanted to give me money. I hope this channel won't be hacked and stolen from you. No. It won't. Don't worry. I have put measures in place that I think can actually protect this channel. Afande nzija nena wababodo balaba. Batukiza no kuita side yeno. Uganda, sometimes we bend the rules. Ekimoroka kichiri kyagudde wali, that's an accident. Mujiraba I don't want you to miss the news. This is breaking news for the love of cars. Actually ekimoroka kigudde nnyo. So now they are changing. I think they are changing the load to another lorry. Now this lorry that is here is the one that they are parking things that were in that lorry that fell. I think it lost braking control. Najisula, which is a good thing, which is a good thing because he saved yeah, he saved lives. Instead of going and knocking down people, you would rather drop it. This was a professional driver, by the way. He was pro. That driver is a pro. I appreciate what he did, because Olumu, you will find, you remember the accident that happened here in Bwais, a truck that lost braking control nerinya morokanga 10 was alinga makumi asatu, by the way. So that guy knew what he was doing. You'd rather actually kusula the car nomanya nti emoroka eri ku police tugenda jijjayo tusasuleyo ku papula than actually starting to pay people the mutomedde. Yeah, so today we have broken the rules at Bwais. So when I was talking about me changing this engine, I actually realized that you guys need to know that you can buy a car with a bad engine sometimes and buy a new engine. Although you just have to know how much is the new engine that you're going to buy, and how does that cost relate to your budget. I've told you time and again how I bought an Ipsum that where the engine was in a basin, and and yeah, Ugandan drivers need to get civilized. Actually, these pedestrians when you stop. So I bought that Ipsum, and the engine had failed for those guys, and then we repaired it in a couple of hours, and it was up and running. But those things, I don't recommend that you do it on your own. You need to do it on with the mechanic around. So Kugamamia will fix it, and this is what it will take. And it has to fit in your math. Like me, I've driven a total of 85 kilometers every day since I moved to Matuga, and I moved to Matuga in September last year. And then I was driving a Primo. I moved to Matuga and I was driving a Golf Polo. Okay, then I changed to a Primo. Okay, then along the way, then I changed to this car. Yeah, and this car alone has done, that's, you just calculate 85 kilometers for 365 days. Yeah. So that's how much distance it has done. Katia omuntu, the people that live in Bukoto, sometimes I find people abagambe moroka yangetenyo, and I laugh at them. You can't be living in Bukoto, working in town, and you say you can know how your car doesn't consume fuel. It's people like us who live far away from town that would actually know that a car doesn't consume fuel. Yeah, so sometimes you can actually do that and change an engine, because it's allowed for you to change an engine. Sometimes you can find a car that has a perfect body, perfect interior, everything is perfect, but the engine is bad. And it's on sale, on offer. So if you do the math, for example, and you buying a new engine fits within your budget, you can buy that car and then go ahead and buy a new engine and put it in there, go to URA, get the paperwork sorted out, and you drive your car like you're driving a new car. Like for example, me now, when I put a new engine, like my engine is going to cost me around 2 million. Of course, there are extras that I would like to buy with that engine. Like I want to buy a new air cleaner cover, that plastic thing. I want to buy a new throttle. I want to buy a new air flow meter. You get it? I want to buy those new things, because when you put a new engine in the car, you need to give it those new accessories. Of course, those new engines, they come with, of course they're not brand new, but they're Japan used. They come with their own plugs, the original plugs that Toyota made for those cars. So I'll leave those in there. You get it? So there are things that I'll put, that I'll buy with that new engine, that will add some extra cost. So I'll be at around 2.3, 2.4, which take it. But then I'll be driving an engine that is like the one that is in the new Corolla Fielder. You get? So that's the math I'll be doing. Then I can drive this car for another 10 to 20 years. Which take it. My kids would actually, 20 years, my kids will be driving this car back in campus, because I put a new engine. Which take it. So sometimes you can do that math, and if it makes sense, yeah, you just do it. Like now, I use my car with AC. Now, if I put a new engine, I take because the engine will be more powerful than what it is now. But of course, even the old engine you have, there are things that you can do to keep the engine healthy. For example, me, I know my engine is old, so Arthur, can you share with us the cost of engine of some common hatchbacks? Okay, of course my engine is cheaper, because it's the first generation of the 1NZ. Okay, the Corolla Fielders have the 1NZ engine, the new model. I actually wanted to put that new engine, but my mechanic told me that there are things that change with that engine. That engine has certain things that that car has certain things that connect to that engine that my car won't have. So it will disturb me. So I'm going to put my original version of the 1NZ. Still okay. So the 1NZ engine that is in here is the one that is in the Corolla filter, the 2002, 2003 model, yeah, 2004, you get. Now the 2006 models and above, they have a new 1NZ version. It's the one that is in the one that is in the new Spacio and all. But the one that I have in here is the one that is in the old, the new model Spacio, but the older generation. It's the one that is in there. It's the one that is in the Toyota Alex as well. Yeah. So, but in this engine in particular is around 2 million. So, but I'm going to compile but you know, even when I share prices here, prices can change because I'm saying I'm buying my new engine at 2 million, but next year I can end up buying it 2.2. Prices change. So normally when I share prices, because yesterday when I went to buy plugs for this car, the last time I bought plugs from Toyota of this car again, I bought them at 68,000. Yesterday it was actually cheaper than last year. So because I bought them 68 last year, but yesterday I bought them 60,100 shillings, which is actually cheaper. So prices change and they either increase or decrease. Okay, so I want you to know that when I share prices of things here, don't think that bagara kuba. Sometimes things change because of the import tax. So many things make the prices change. Yeah, Arthur, would you encourage someone to buy a Mazda? No. No. I know someone that actually has a Mazda and everything is falling apart. But sometimes they don't tell you. It's only Arthur that will be honest with you. Okay, man, Corolla yangi, what day, like yesterday. Some people don't share their problems of the problems that they have with their cars. But the more cars on Zirwala and the cars that are not Toyota with Zirwala, that is what they yokusing, as you know. Right? So, but I don't recommend that you buy a Mazda any day. I don't. Why? Because Mazda spare parts are expensive. First of all, we are buying cassava. We are buying cassava. So I have eggs in my. I have containers every day, so they put in cassava to make things. So let me see these comments that I haven't seen. Sometimes I skip these comments. So yesterday was quite an experience, and you know, Uganda is funny. When I was in Toyota buying stuff, Arthur, not me, I got the statement here. Are you sure that wasn't you? Who said I'm going to the game park? It is Martha. So Arthur, last time I watched your video about Mazda. Actually, I've never actually done a video that talks about Mazda in particular, but I think Mazda and Volkswagen will actually end up being the same car, maintenance wise. It doesn't matter how good you take care of this car, it might disappoint you. It will disappoint you. Right? So Mazda, I think the only reason people normally buy Mazda is because Mazda is cheaper to buy than any other. Mazda is actually cheaper than Volkswagen. So I think that's why people end up buying Mazda, but don't try to save money. And you know, Mazda has perfected like design. Their cars look really nice. Their cars look really nice, and I think that's another reason why people buy them. Like there is this car called Mazda Lavente. It's a van. It's a van that looks like a Toyota Noah. It looks really nice, and I think people buy it mostly because it looks nice. But you can't see it past 1 year. Normally they break down in a year or two. And I've told you time and again, it doesn't mean that Salmin Tuse. Castor Tuse. So it doesn't mean that these cars are actually bad. Volkswagens are not bad cars, Mercedes-Benz are not bad cars, Mazdas are not really bad cars. It's just that in our condition, in our country today, mechanics first of all don't know how to fix. You see the new car owner, like Pola. No one you don't have a book on them.
This one.
I can't show you guys, but someone just bought a new car. No one your button on the wing. So they just bought a Paso Sete UBM, and they're enjoying their car. So these cars are actually good. So these cars are actually good, but one thing you need to understand is that and that's the worst place you want to be. It's like you getting a sickness and the doctors in Uganda don't know what you're suffering from. You will suffer. You will spend a lot of money, because at the end of the day, they'll end up telling you, go to South Africa and get these things checked out. My mentor, one of my mentors actually had a brother of his. Yalwala nnyo. Nalwala obulwadde nge Uganda tebabulabangako. 430?
Yes.
Obulwadde nga tebabulabangako e Uganda. So what happened? But the good thing is that his brother, the one that was sick, had Watoto insurance, and they paid a lot. His insurance got depleted, but they were total fault. They paid more money, and the Bamutwala, I think South Africa, they got specialists from the US to treat him. Ne bamujanjaba paka bwe yawona. Era ne kakati yawona, but he still doesn't look so normal. Atambula ngero omulwadde mutono nnyo bwati. But what I'm trying to show you is that if you buy a car that is not common here, doctors will not know how to treat it. No, not doctors. Mechanics will not know how to fix it, because they don't know the common problems. Okay, bye. So, and when a mechanic doesn't know how to fix it, bono na bono. You have it. Bono na bono, and you don't want people. Okay, let me come to that, guys. Bono na bono, and you don't want that too, because mechanics in Uganda will not actually be honest with you to tell you that you sobola chijanjaba, which you sobola chikanika, bajifira. That's why you find that people have cars that are stuck in certain garages for a year. And they made them uchi. I see. And they made them garage. Why? Because the mechanic, instead of telling this guy, Moroka sobola jikanika, yamulemerako na ajiremeza muchifo. So you don't want to buy Mazdas, Volkswagens, Mercedes Benzes, and all those rare cars. Yesterday I found a woman in Matuga driving this car, a Rover. You know those cars, eh? It's not Land Rover, it's a sedan, but it's a Rover. Nga ina makanika we Matuga, kati makanika we Matuga kanike Rover. Eh? And I'll tell you, there are people that have Fords. You guys know the Fords, eh? The double cabin pickups of Ford, eh? And Fords bazitekamu engineer Mark II, okay? Because the Fords have a lot of electrical problems. So what these guys do is they change the engine and gearbox. They batekamu engine ne gearbox ya Mark II. The old Mark IIs, because the engines cannot go in the same way. Then they put it on the mountings and all, and then the car moves. Whatever guy kuvuga Ford, okitegeera now we normally dizango guze Ford, even when you will not afford to maintain it on the road, eh? Nogula Ford nekulemerera kumbe ye guy engine yagichusa. So I would not recommend that you buy a car that is not common on the road. There is a reason why certain cars are common on the road and others are not. It's simple maintenance. It's easier to maintain the cars that are common on the road than it is to maintain the cars that are not common on the road. So Mazda jesonyo muganda wange. Okay? Mazda jesonyo wejirike ejja kutawanya atocha awa abantu. Okitegeera. Let me see. How about comment about the Honda CR-V? Actually, worldwide, Honda is one of the cars that are longer lasting. The Honda Tefa. The Honda engines also don't die. Okay? The only problem with Hondas is the suspension is quite expensive to maintain. Other than that, the Honda you can buy. But make sure the engine is good. But the fact that they just don't die doesn't mean that the engines don't die. Because sometimes engines die because of poor maintenance. Like, you know, the reason why I'm changing this engine, you'll see in the video I'm going to share today evening. that this engine has some oil residues, black oil on the our guruku top. Why? The person that I told you guys I bought this engine, this car from the village, you Masakeo Deep. The person wasn't maintaining this car properly with good oils. There are people that change oils by putting oils that are from other people's cars. Like when you do service, you not oil. So some villages actually do that. That's why I was telling you guys, temugula moroka zangu byaro muzirekere ba broker baziguleyo okitegeera muzirekere ba mechanic baziguleyo. So I think the person that had this car yali akola service with bad oils okitegeera yali akola service with bad oils, and that's how the engine got those bimeremere mu engine, eh? And that's why sometimes I tell you guys, only do service from Total or Shell. They have good engine oil. Bana abalala simanyi sijja kwogera brand yonna ya service station, but the ones that I recommend are Shell and Total, because ojja kukola service ya engine yo ogisumule bwoti ku top cover nga nyonjo, and yange you will see in the video that I'm sharing, it has some bimeremere on top, and for me I don't want that. That's why I'm changing this engine. Actually, this engine, someone is actually going to, good morning Dennis, someone is going to buy this engine from me. That when never seen a good engine, I'm going to walk to a place. Abatunda engine enkadde era nsaasira omuntu agula engine enkadde ku kyebwayise. Abantu abagula engine enkadde ku kyebwayise, we will drive this car to them. They see the engine ng'eyaka bulungi. We negotiate a price that they are going to buy the engine. We go with their representative to where we are going to change the engine from. Fe tutekemu engine eyaffe empya tubawe eno okitegeera. So for us, we put a new engine, we sell them this one, bagiguze bwanayagala okusavinga sente oleme gula engine empya okitegeera. So that's what we are going to do. What are the omulwaddewo yafunye ku panado. Kapanado twamuwadde tomulaba aseeya buseeya nange ndi musanyufu. Yesterday I wasn't in I didn't feel very well yesterday. Yeah, but we are good now. We are good. Kapanado twafunye. So my sister had a Mazda Primus, but car not kuzikira ya dengo jemu its key man until nga obikude no jam of fuse. Yeah, Salman is giving us an experience that they went through with his sister who had a Mazda Primus. Actually, someone here wanted to buy a Primus some time back, and they were asking me my view of the Primus. So Salman is sharing that his sister had a Mazda Primus, and it would not turn off the ignition. Nganebo jamo ekisumuzotezikira paka ngogenze no jam of fuse. Yeah, that's a wiring problem, and I've told you guys time and again that wiring is the most expensive bit of fixing cars in Uganda. Now that could have been actually something that is simple to repair. Nayenga bogenda okugirepairing basobola okugamba you need to buy a sensor, nayenga sensor ya mitwalo kinana. It happens guys, it happens. But with the Toyota ekyo tekisobola kuba kisobola bina nacho for a week. Even a day is too much. Ne mechanic waffe matugo wa wiring asobola okukitereeza. Right? So that's why I normally recommend guys buy cars that are common on the road, especially if you're a first time car owner, or if you're going to become probably want to buy a first car. Yeah. Good morning Dennis. Then we say, Arthur, how can someone become a car broker here in Kampala to collect sente? Man, what broker muleke? All the brokers I know are poor, by the way. They make money, but they are poor. I'm telling you, they are poor. Brokers are poor. That's one thing I can tell you. The people that have some money are traders. Abagule moroka. Atena abo I know kubanga ina like 4 cars or 5 cars. Nga in one place. Nga buatatu nga. For you to make money out of cars, you need to be able to like sell 2 cars, at least 2 cars a month, like $1 million. Ochitegeera. And those are for people that have their own cars. Now for brokers that sell cars, yes, bakuba, like you can buy a car and you go to your friend bakugamba, no, that car we are selling. Hey, did I go offline briefly? So I vehicle. Brokers are poor people. Broker most men do when they are on the ground and they go and hang out in a certain location. Okay, just to make some money. I was telling you that the only way people make money in cars is, for example, someone has their own cars and they are selling them. And they need to be able to sell a minimum of 2 cars a month. And that's if you make 1 million off of each car. Brokers. Now, and I was telling you that normally you could buy a car at 5.5, but it goes up to 6 or sometimes 6.5. Why it goes to that price is because a lot of brokers are involved. A lot of brokers are involved. And I'll give you an example. A few days or few weeks ago, I don't remember how long ago, we were selling the Ipsum to one of my followers here. We went and inspected. Of course, it took a long time for us to decide to buy Ipsum, but I think he's happy with his choice because the Ipsum is actually a business car. And we bought it 6 million, totally worth it. But I later on realized that there were so many brokers involved. The owner had a son, so the son had the paperwork for the car. So the son, I think, was given money. Then there's a place where we found the car. There were like 3 people there. They are all brokers. The office where we paid for the car from, guys, and we tried to take the car away from the brokers in the first place so that we reduce, because in that first place somebody were saying 6.5. I don't remember very well. So he brought it to this place where we paid for. And we had just finished paying when the guy came in. He was telling the guy that in the office, and he was actually getting bitter. I don't know how much they gave him, but they gave him money. So you need to understand that brokers are part of the deal. Now, where you have to make sure that you're making a good purchase is to make sure that the car is worth that money. And in the case of the Ipsum, it was totally worth the money. For me now, I don't care. We got a good car. But I'm trying to tell you that broker buys over and he was a big man, around 40 or 45. You can imagine a man of 40, 45. Now in Uganda, a man of 40 or 45 normally has 5 to 6 kids. Now a man of 40, 45. So you can imagine man of 40, 45. So you just know that brokerage business, I would not advise. If you have your capital, do your own businesses. Do your own businesses. And if you can, do 1 or 2 businesses. A choba broker, the people that are transitioning in life, they don't really know. What I've realized about brokers is normally they don't really know what they want to do with life. And Alimbwa broker trying to transit as they figure out what they want to do with their lives, or as they figure out which business they have to do, they hang in there. And it's a period that almost every man has gone through. Every man has gone through it. And if you're the kind of man that cannot adjust, no gamble, okay, now life is tough, let me do this. Sometimes life will be tough for you. Me, I have to do this kind of job at all times. So these men are actually real men. There is a time I went and saw a car, and it was actually a woman, and life was really tough for her. She was selling a car. So just know that's a tough life. Transitioning but the brokerage, whatever never broker in Uganda, because it's not a business, it's not a job that is regulated, so it's not really professional. Sometimes you can say 10% of the land value, 5%, you get. So brokerage is something. That's why I tell you guys, me, I'm not a broker. You round up your five cars, but if you can't find, we have brokers that we can call. When I'm buying cars with people, I take them aside. For example, but if you feel comfortable buying it, because there are a lot of brokers that are involved in selling that car. So it's important for you to understand that brokers, of course, it's not a regulated job. It's not something that you can do and you grow in it, but it's something that can put food on the table. If you're at that point in your life where things are really tough, you can do it. But if you're at the point in life where try elsewhere. If you want to find that these guys are actually bad, you what's this place? In your car, 10 people will sit in this car. You see, this car is a 5-seater, 4-seater. 10 people will sit in this car. It's not a pretty thing. So I wouldn't recommend any of my followers to think that they could become a broker and make good money out of it. Brokerage is a kind of transition piece of work that people do in Uganda. It's not, and in all cases, Uganda at Ministry of Internal Affairs, we're going to get a new passport. The guys that are there, I know someone that can give you a passport in a day. They don't really make a lot of money off of you. That the passport express is 500, he will send pay in Kaga. Kweze in Kaga, he's going to like give officials 20 so it's I don't recommend. If you went to school and studied something, you need to be really creative. Like I'll tell you that personally, I'm not by accident here on YouTube. I have a degree in drama and film. I have a degree in drama and film, and I have postgraduate qualifications in marketing. So what I'm doing right here is a combination of my drama and film background and then marketing background. So just know I'm not here by accident. I'm not one of those guys that do influencer thing. This is me being creative. So diploma or certificate, you can actually be creative and make money out of it. Even unconventionally, you're actually making money out of it. You're in a tight spot and you're really trying to get food for that day. I don't know why I can't see my comments. I wanted to see comments because they are. I don't want to skip comments today. We just skip. There are over 20 comments, and then I panic to actually. So I think Isaac Nkugambye, what broke a man? Very cool. Morning, Arthur. Thank you for the work you do. I follow you. I follow you from South Korea. It's almost 2 p.m. here. Are you sure? Thank you for following, Isaac. Yeah, thank you. South Korea. South Korea and North Korea are different a little, right? In North Korea, where you can't even talk to a woman. In South Korea, are you guys able to talk to women? In I think North Korea, what Kim Jong-un. How is South Korea, by the way? Tell us something about South Korea and what kind of opportunities are there? How much is a Primo Super engine? Arthur. Now Primo Super. I have to ask, but it might be more expensive than mine. You might get it at around 3 or 3.5, but that's not the full engine with everything, alternator and all, because I'm imagining you have your alternator which is still in good condition. You have all these other things, the skeleton, which is actually the engine in actual sense. But why they call it akawanga is because it doesn't have meat. Like the skeleton is the one that moves the car, but you have to put the alternator and all these other things. You might get it at around 3 or 3.5 or 4, sometimes 4. It's a little expensive, more expensive than mine. Because why? Because the Primos are now rare now. There are so many cars that have this engine, so many people have imported them. But the other one, but you're overpricing them because very few people actually have it in their shops now. Yeah. Mazidanga mwalaba na yo salmini. Kati mwamala, how did you treat it to get it better? Did you get a wiring expert? So rollings, I hope you have gotten your answer. Mazidas will be complicated. They are not bad cars, by the way. But the one challenge you're going to get with the Mazda is resale value. It's too low. The same thing that happens with the Honda CR-V. It's a very good car, but people don't want to buy it. So when it comes for you time to sell, if you bought that car at 7 million, you might end up selling it for. Because there is no demand. There is no demand for it. and also fixing it might actually be a little expensive because the way I know us as young people, kati tetuzimba mu kibuga, tetukyazimba kira, tetukyasobola kuzimba muyenga okujjako nga taata we yasikira ettaka oba nga oli mugagga muvundu. So kitegeeza you're going to be building in the outskirts of Kampala, Gayaza, past Gayaza, Chiwenda, Busiika, like me who's in Matuga. You'll go past Mokono. For some people live and build in Lugazi. You'll go to Hoima Road. You're going to be building in Namayumba. That side, the mechanics that are that side, in case your car needs emergency maintenance. Our mechanic they know how to fix Toyotas. They don't know how to fix these other cars. That's why I recommend that you buy Toyota. Because I'm imagining you're not going to be driving the car for like a month or two, You're going to be driving your car for a year or more. It means there are times that you'll get emergency issues that need someone that is near to fix it. So you need to have a car that a mechanic where you live can actually fix it. And normally that's a Toyota. Even a Honda bagezako, but not as much as a Toyota. So instead of buying a Toyota, a CRV Honda, why don't you just buy a RAV4? Basically the same car. Of course, the CRV Honda is higher. The CRV Honda doesn't have that gearbox issue that the RAV4 has. But trust me, you'll have more peace with the RAV4 than with the CRV Honda. You get? You'll have more peace with the Toyota than with the Mazda. She sold it 3 million. Yet she bought it 6 million. Ochiraba, Salmi is telling us that the sister bought her Mazda at 6 million and sold it 3 million. Yeah, because those cars keep developing issues that are sort of unfixable. So even when someone knows what to do for the car to fix it, they'll put your price down. How long did she drive it though, Salmin? How long had she driven it? How long had you driven the Primacy? Because it's also important to know how long you have driven the car for you to know. Because for me, I've driven this car for more than a year, and I can tell you that, of course, I've fixed stuff in it, but I would not sell it less than I bought it. Because in Chimanyi, but I would not sell it less than I bought it. Yet it has never actually given me trouble that stops it. Like yesterday, it was faulty, but I drove it. So, how long had you guys driven it? Like me, I've gotten all the value out of my car. And I don't regret buying it even when I bought it from the village. And I don't even feel bad that I'm going to put a new engine, because this engine has served me. There are people that buy cars from the bond and the engine breaks down that very year and they have to put a new engine. Yet the car was new from the bond. Me, I didn't buy. I bought from the Masaka. Actually, when you get to Masaka town, to Nyendo, I drove another 20 kilometers to get this car. We found a guy there in the village. He was coming from the farm, distributing matoke in his various homes. Good morning, Arthur. Please do a review of a Mark X 2006 model, doing 30 kilometers to and from work. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure I get access to a Mark X. I'm thinking I can. There is someone that has a Mark X at work. I don't know which model he has, but I'm thinking he can give me a review and then we can gauge from there, because normally they have the same engine. They all have V6 engine. Yeah, I've actually wanted to, good morning brother, talk about Subaru Outback. I want to know about it now. I think Subaru is almost all, if it's the 2000cc, they almost all have the same engines. Now Subaru is a good car. After Toyota, if for a young person, I'll tell you to after Toyota, you can buy a Subaru for resale value, because Subaru kind of has not so bad resale value because young people want to buy them. But I wouldn't recommend that you buy a Subaru that has 2.0cc and above engine. Why? Because very few people will actually want to buy it. Chances are high that if you're selling your Subaru that is 2.0, you might end up selling it to a mechanic or a broker, because very few people want to buy those Subarus. Why? Because they consume a lot of fuel. Subaru, but also maintaining a Subaru is expensive. It's very expensive to maintain a Subaru, much more expensive than a Toyota. And I think these guys already know that people that buy Subarus are buying them because of passion. Njagala Subaru. They don't buy cars nganza wengula Toyota, because me when I'm buying a car, I buy with the thought of najivuga ngabuli nako kube wange na okudayo, and then in my head I'm also how is it to maintain. Makanika we wange matuga singe feeder muku, makanika we matugalinya boda najja na anterereza, things like that. And my car in particular has never broken down on the road. And you know, I'm lucky. My car always breaks down when my kids are no longer going to school. It breaks when it breaks down. You see, like the episode it had yesterday. Such things happen when I don't really need too much to use it. Like I'm not going to panic. I don't know why. I'm a lucky guy. Normally when even it doesn't matter which car I'm driving, it breaks down when I can do without it. But even then, when it breaks down, I can actually fix the issue. Sometimes we buy a feeder waka, we feeder pumulimu, or we feeder mukuba, I can still drive it to get to work or to home, things like that. I'm lucky. But Subaru is a good car for passion drivers. But I'll tell you that Subarus are not as comfortable as Toyotas. Toyotas are much more comfortable than Subarus. It doesn't matter. Go buy a new Subaru from the bond, and apart from the new car smell and the intactness they have, sit in that Subaru, drive it the same distance. Sit in my Corolla, the old Corolla, the UAM that I have, drive it. You'll experience that my Corolla is actually much more comfortable than the Subaru. That's just how it is. But I think Subaru focused on performance and design, and they forgot to work on comfort. That's my thought though. Subaru is really comfortable, but the Subarus have sat in comfortable. I think a Subaru is singers and bad day to Ramu Pia. Because majority of people that have Subarus actually have new Subarus. And that can also tell you about something about those cars that tells you because you can find a Corolla, but show me a Subaru anyway. I think a Subaru Zavangayo. That can tell you about a car that it's not as durable as people say it is, or it's just too expensive to maintain. Engine, no kugura engine and it's too expensive. So that's why I normally tell you guys, buy Toyota. Gura Toyota, man. You show me a Nissan. Ngasi a government to buy a chitongo. It's very rare for you to find it. The Mark X is actually okay. Mark X is okay, but Mark X is still maintenance. CRIC, Mark X is CRIC, guys. Mark X is abavubuka basire king. Abayina okasente. Oba abagala okulabika nga bayina okasente. First of all, it's a V6 engine, 6-cylinder. It's ebenywamu kutufuta. Ekyo beera nga okimanyi. Tenywa nnyo wowe obeera kumpi. Naye kati wowe obeera nganze jembeera. The Mark X consumes fuel. Okitegeera enywamu. So gigule nga okimanyi tejja kuba enywamukko. But of course, I've told you guys, I've given you a trick for driving a car. Let me show you. When you're driving your car, automatic or manual, olaba kalimi kano, that one counting a revolutions, akakaina 1000 r/minute. When you're driving a car, whether it's automatic or manual, just make sure that teita mutu. You see that meter? Make sure teita mutu. The young engine under 2. That's why it doesn't really consume that much fuel. Ochiraba tojikiriza tuka mutu, then you change gears. Nze sijikiriza. Newe automatic. Make sure it doesn't go beyond 2. You'll see magic in fuel consumption. Ojja kulaba nga emmotoka tenywa nawe weewuunye. Okitegeera. Emmotoka ojja kugiraba nga tenywa mafuta. Ne weeba nkadde ne weeba mpya. Okitegeera. There is a follower of mine here that said the sister has a Mark X, and for a long time abadde nga ateekamu emitwalo 5 every day to go to work and back home. But on that particular day he followed that trick, and he was the one driving it, and that day they used 30k, and the sister was surprised. Actually bateekamu 3 negasigala namu mu Mark X. So that's the trick for you to drive emmotoka neeta kunywa nnyo mafuta. Just make sure it doesn't go beyond 2000 revs per minute. Ojja kulaba nga emmotoka we mirembe. Yesterday mo kaba dizempa mirembe. Even changing gears ngojulira ngeyagala okuzikira nange. Imoroka eringa muntu bagay. At 45 they don't know what they want to do. Martha, life can be tough. I don't want to say they don't know what they want to do, but Martha, life can be tough, especially for men. I don't judge people anymore. Life can be tough. I can tell you that before the lockdown, there are people that had life figured out. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Before the lockdown, there are people that had life figured out. That person has a job, okay? Gives them like 2 million or 3 million a month, gives them allowances, medical insurance. But when the lockdown came, things changed. That's why I tell you guys, let's try to be humble. Never funa a certain not funa 5 million a month. If you have a room, continue driving that room for some time. Save up as much money as you can. So there are people that had life figured out Martha before the lockdown, but when the lockdown came, they were laid off and they didn't have any more money. They didn't have any more income. Bwaba bada pangise nyumba ya kakadoro kuba bada funa million nya nga ino jiva amagi ndata nakupangise ya abiri. Bwaba bada avuga hari ya kaundo nga ino jitunda, and they buy probably a Spacio or a Vitz. Lockdown changed things, Martha. I don't want to judge anyone when they say that when they look like at 45 they don't know what they want to do, but someone can have something they do for their entire life. For example, someone can be an accountant for 40 years and that's all they know how to do. That's why you need to be dynamic. They only know how to be an accountant, and they do something, probably fraud is detected in something they do, and they lose their license as an accountant, and they can't be an accountant anymore. And at that moment, when you can't be an accountant anymore, you don't know what to do. And that's how it ends up being a broker. So life can be funny. And I'll tell you, there are people that retire at, for example, at 60. They knew how to do one thing, one job. You see how the NSSF boss doesn't want to retire? He doesn't know how to do anything else. He only knows how to tell people what to do. He has been in management for the past 60 years. And now it's time for him to retire. To retire to what? That's why he's asking that his contract be renewed. Because life can be funny. That's why as young people we need to be dynamic, get skills here and there, try to do various things, and stay humble. Not that bofuna sente. If you start getting more money, you instantly change the brand of car you're driving. Toyota, and all of a sudden a Mercedes-Benz ML. One of my followers called me a few days ago, the one that wanted to buy Mercedes-Benz, the 4 million Mercedes-Benz. He called me a few days later and told me, Arthur, nagenze Benz million enye ja kuntawanya. Nagenze nenjira bangambo tufu ja kuntawanya. Kakati, what if I get 15 million? Can't I get a Mercedes-Benz ML? I told him, bro, you have been looking for a car at 4 million. Nenkugamba Benz ya 4 million ejja kutawanya. Kati ate emero oyagala kuchawa abantu ojja gifuna, but it will disturb you. Ojja kutuwa okuchawa abantu ngolaba eyaguza emero wampisambi ne afi yajikirira wampisambi. Not because it was a bad car, but because maintaining it is bad. Is not easy. Okitegeera. Martha, life can be funny, eh? I'm sure we all know stories of men that had money like 10 years ago, and right now they are broker than you. I've told you a story of a certain man where I used to rent that had a lot of money. When the Primo new model came out, he's the first person that drove it kucharo, and we saw, you never jita Primo. And that's when in the bumper at that time, bumper Primo new model yari $1 million, and a friend of his yajito mera. And then he came, he was the guy that knew where these things were, and they sent for it 1 million. Man. But and then number plate yampianga bwezijja. Zira tuzirabira ku yenti. That time it was, I think, UAS nga yeri. Ko UAS najireta nga mpya. Oh! Banange moroka leta mpya. Nga zaka zilinga muntu. But guys, I saw that guy broke. Nimulaba nga atambuza ebigere. Guys, Be humble. Be humble, Martha. At 45, it's possible for you to not know what you want to do with life. And it's not like you don't know what you want to do, but it's like what you wanted to do is not working out anymore. Ontegera kyenkugamba nga buli kyoddako tekikola buli kyokwatako. You know how they say that some people, you see how Elon Musk is, everything he touches turns it into gold. Things can make a bad turn nga buli kyokwatako actually ne bwaba abadde gold afuuka ettaka. They give you gold and you make it into mud. That's how funny life can turn. So guys, I don't want to judge anyone. That's why I'm telling you that being a broker is something that people use to transition as he figures out his life. So they use it as they figure out katichiche zako. Ochitegeera. Yeah. So Salman is asking 45 kilometers every day ka Primo Super chiri chitia other. Yeah, you can actually do. Gochobo manya 40 Primo Super oba Primo yonna ngerimu eyo engine yayo 7A liter sobolo genda for 10 kilometers nga it's in good condition. A liter can go for 10 kilometers. So just know you'll be consuming about 4.5 liters for 45 kilometers. But of course, my car does 13, between 13 and 15, but the engine is old. When I take my engine in here, I'm 18 to 20 kilometers per liter. That's why I'm buying a new engine. Yeah, so Primo for 45, bro, compare for me Harrier Kawundo to Mark X. You're doing a very bad comparison, my bro. Zach, you're doing a very bad comparison. Harrier Kawundo eriwa guru, Mark X eriwa nsi. The only thing you're comparing probably like you're fair with is that the Mark X is 2.4cc. The Harrier Kawundo, you can get a 2.4cc version. So any day I would break a Kawundo over a Mark X. But of course, buying a Kawundo is more expensive than buying a Mark X. So price-wise, but also resale value-wise, Kawundo has more resale value than a Mark X. So it's I would, if you have the money to buy a Kawundo 2.4cc, I'd recommend that you buy a Kawundo instead of a Mark X. Buy a Kawundo if you can afford it. Mark X nungi naye ate sikira mabega okujja ko ngofunye ufo wheel. Ate 4-wheel is very hard to maintain, it's expensive. So I would recommend you buy Kawundo weyagale obera mbire. Yeah? And when you get to time to sell it, people will give you good money. Especially ku Mark X. You can find a Mark X UB being about $15 and you wonder kati yajigula mmeka. Okitegeera nenga yeto sola kisa Kawundo ne bwebera UAK $15 oba okubye oba obbye. Okitegeera. So if you can afford Kawundo, buy Kawundo. Of course it's expensive to maintain still, but at least you're driving a Kawundo. Manyi waliwo ebintu ebimbi tugamba nti kali nfunda n'obya ngondera ng'amanyi nze musajja we. Okitegeera. You've had that thing, and I think it was Fidel Afrigo Band ng'angula emyera gy'amatooke ng'agula emyera gy'amatooke mujjukira ng'omwogerako oyo gayi muwala we yali agula emyera. So there is a Primo Super and Ipsam Super. Yes, there are supers there. Nechikumi mulimu super, nemo Kosa, there is a Kosa ordinary and Kosa Super. Arthur, please talk about Paso prices, both new and used. Right now the cheapest Paso you can get is 20 million. That's why I think it's the bond. But here on the road you can even get at 10 million, depending on the condition. But like I told you guys, you can buy a car that has a bad engine and put a new engine. So if you found a Paso that is like UBG nga bajiguza million 10, and you know a place where you can buy an engine, guys, the math adds up for you. Buy it, buy a new engine. It's as simple as math. It's as simple as math. Kati bano bagala kurubula bumper yange kanga teo. Yeah, so it's as simple as mathematics. So in the bond, I think right now the list price for a Paso is 20 million. I'm thinking you can get it lower depending on the class of the car you're buying. You guys have been telling me that cars nemu bondi waliyo class. Nteno class mbibibi eno nungi rungi eno nungi nnyo. So you'll find that someone agenze mu bondi aganze nakiguze ku 16. Hey, kama nchoguze. But right now a good Paso in the bond is 20 million. We bobo so do jifuna ku 16 mu bondi. It's okay. Ndisijja kunyega. Nego manya oyinza okuboguza accident car oyinza obuguze gearbox ngegenda fine the next 1 year, oyinza obuguze nga engine egenda kuba myezi nga 6 nego of course oba tomanyi because ovuze kanamba oguze kipya okitegeera yeah nabo balina class by the way the guys in the bond lwakuba mu ebiseera emu bato bimanyi ogula buguzi mmoroka mpya. That's why you find that people go to the bond ogule mmoroka mpya nga tasasudde sente after sente za pre-purchase inspection n'agenda neyetegeerera ye n'atamanya kikyaguze. Bwe nolowooza nti you have got a bargain abalala bagamba ffe twagiguze miliyoni 2.25 gwe ng'oguze 15. Jeke yabulidde wa bannange mumunoonyeeko Jeke waali Jeke ebiseera emu abeera asirise gwe leetayo ekintu ekiri technical in engineering olabe ajja kugamba Jeke be bano abazimba those things you see bye tulaba mu firimu rigs eza oil rigs ebyo is a specialist awo. So I'm thinking during the holiday for people that can take advantage of him, you can call him up and you take advantage of his expertise. Nakuwa ku magezi how to build strong things because abazimba mu oceans baba bamanye ebigumu naddala abagula ettaka ly'omu kisenyi. People that are buying land in the wetlands could probably utilize his expertise. No more consultation. Musajja wuuyo emmotoka agenda gipangisa miliyoni 2 for 1 month. Kitegeera naye nga gyali Jeke ye yasoose nawo I think today kati ennaku zino akeera in case of an accident car a board of the car be fixed without issues. Body you're saying body be fixed. Yeah, the body, fixing the body, URA doesn't have a problem with you fixing your body. URA etekuinako obuzibu ekintu URA ekyayinako obuzibu kyakugula ki body. Kati waliwo amacha wanagezaako okundaga obwa amacha bwe waliwo amacha. So the only thing that URA has a problem with is you actually buying a new body. Ekyo tebakikkiriza okitegeera ekyo tebakikkiriza but they you're enjoying the ride kankulageko oyo amacha oyo binnyumira ebyo bamanyi kulinnya muliro tebamanyi skill anyway. So fixing the body ngefunye accident URA has no problem with it. URA allow you to change the body which they call the chassis. Ekyo URA etakikkiriza naye nga terina buzibu if you want to fix your body as long as it's fixable. The only person that has a problem with the body accident is the IOV. I'm sure you guys have heard of the IOV, inspector of vehicles. That's why emmotoka bweva kabenje bweva ku accident they normally tell you bweba etomedde nnyonnyo they tell you to go to IOV for the IOV to tell you whether it's roadworthy. Kat under such circumstances bwoba osobola okusasula enguzi bakuliko okole ki ogende. Why? Chances are high that ogenda gende wa IOV bakugambe emmotoka eno terina kuba kuki terina kuba ku bbala. Bwe banagamba emmotoka terina kuba ku bbala IOV keeps it esigala wa IOV. Amacha ngoba bagayi amacha ngoba awulira afa anti avuga kanamba kamulage corolla ye bayita corolla. Amacha ngoba is just that I can't put this car in the side mirror kubalaga amacha byagoba amacha goba. Hey you guys, I wish I could put in the side mirror amacha goba ne amacha tamanyi skiru bana imula corolla bwe yawonye. I'm enjoying this. There is a time I rest with the RAV4 nanvaako ngatansobola ne amacha abivuddeko kati ategedde ekifoki. You guys, emmotoka ya mani omugireke, leave manual cars alone. I can compete with the 2000cc car that is automatic. Especially with the skill that I have. Of course eya mani weba ng'omuvuzi tamanyi byavuga osobola okumuyisa. But with the kind of skill I have, toyina ogoba amacha abivuddeko. Amacha amanyi kulinnya muliro. Tamanyi actually how to drive. Anyway, today ku discussion yaffe but guy corona mugirabye nti yawonye. Omusajja wa UBM abadde ne ka Alex akapya ka UBM tuina engine ye M1 NZ na ye the biggest difference is that mine is manual, his is auto. The other difference is that I know how to drive, he's an amateur. Yeah, amateur anyize abivuddemu amateur anyigide wali ku roundabout yagezezaako okunnepesa nempisa neibawe nempisa yamubadde mu maaso nemudda mu maaso nawulira obusuumu. Yeah. Anyway, you guys, corolla yange yamaze neewona ndoza mugirabye mpya tuku kati naye ate kati wenagisamu engine empya ate kijja kuba kirala nnyo. So today at around 5 p.m. I'm going to premiere that video of me and my mechanic fixing it. Sometimes I got excited and I skipped some bits without recording them, but you'll understand kastamwe mbabulidde all the steps zendayiseemu to make it work. But the points that I recorded, it's still a good watch. You will enjoy it still. Orabene engine yange we inamwe bimere bya oil omubi, and then you will know why I tell you to only do service from Shell and Total. Atete mugula, some mechanics will tell you to kozesa national oil, simanya bichi simanya ye mulungi. Probably Castro is good oil, but Castro is I think expensive, but it's also good oil. Imodoka za race wezikozesa, it can't be accidental that they use Castro, but Castro is too expensive for the normal car owner. That's why normally you find people that they go to Shell. Shell is affordable. Even Total is more expensive than Shell, but apparently my mechanic tells me that Total has better products than Shell. That's what my mechanic tells me. I'm yet to prove that. It is not proving. He was telling me about fuel. And then he was telling me Total is better. That's what he was telling me. So for the fuel, you guys can also gauge when you drive. You try taking fuel from Shell, try taking from Total, know about which one is better. Yeah, but yeah, I'll upload the video today at 5 mujirabe. You can share it with your friends. These are experiences that people normally don't share. I've also seen people that share car content, and there is no bad news ever. So I'm thinking the world needs some bad news that okay, ne corolla after afude ate nagizawo neterera. So kati ntuse ku mulimu. So guys, that was my cars next week. Next week I'm actually very free. Next week I'm very free. Naye siva wakanga tonteredde sente ku simu. Why? Ate batugamba okugenda ku city oil. Mugende nze sijja bagamba nti mugenda saagala muntu wa city oil ajagambe nabagambi temugendayo. Waba wali wakugamba okugenda ku city oil, they definitely have a reason why they are telling you to take your car to city oil. Bayina ensonga ayinza okuba ye city oil emukolera. But my experience has been, there is a time I actually went to city oil to service my car. It might have to do with my engine being old, of course, because me, I know PR, a bit of PR, but the times that I used to, there's a time that I drove Uber, okay, and I can tell you that there is a guy that used to do servicing from city oil. It can be that emoroka yali already mfu. It's a very possible thing. Nti emoroka already yali mfu. It's possible. Na ye emoroka yali yajja mu bondi yakola ki? Yakuba engine. Bagenda ogisumulanga ine ebimere. But he was using only city oil. I'm not saying that city oil might have done that. Abantu abamu bakola service ate ne bagirwisaawo. Like me, I can't say that the residues on my engine came from city oil. No. City oil actually has very good service, by the way. Nze, I would go to city oil any day to do service from there. So I can't say don't go there, but do it. And I recommend, in my experience, I'd actually have to get probably someone from city oil to explain to me. Of course, in a Shell and Total, bad advertising anye bintu byabwe. And they advertise them in a way that can convince you that they are good. but in my experience they are actually good. It's not about convincing me that they are good. Me, I've done. I'll tell you my experience. I was at campus and I was driving a Chivina, and it was a UAB najigula ku anti wange, and I would take fuel from anywhere. And nange ninga abantu abasajja ba taxi njagala bwe nsanga mafuta, if Shell is selling fuel at 3,500, bwe ngenda ku aka petrol station obaka baita Arthur nga katunda 3,480, agabiri njagala nga saving ekyo kati nga nywa amafuta ga mutwalo, okitegeera. And the time when nanywa amafuta ga Shell, guys, the sound of my engine changed. The sound of my engine changed. I'm telling you, that was in 2011 around December. Nateka mafuta ga Shell mu modoka yange, engine nekyuka envuma. Engine yakyuka envuma. This is my experience. Nalivuga corolla Chibina bagiyita yali UAB 155J. That was my very first car. I can tell you that the sound of my engine changed, and since that day I'm a Shell fanatic. The only time when I interned kunywa Total, I had a friend of mine, I think was promotions manager or marketing manager, one of marketing guys at Total, amita hira baguma katali mu mwenge katijali. But because he was there, then I started using Total. That's my way of saying, okay, muntu wange akola mu Total kanywe ya mafuta nkola yo service something. Maybe yavayo, then I went back to my Shell. But I tell you, that's my experience. That's why I use Shell. Nze na experience. Go bato nafuna experience yecho chintu. Toyinza kumanya lwaki Arthur is a Shell fanatic. By the way, Shell bali mpade influence some money. Anyway, that's mine. So someone is saying, Martha is saying, true Arthur, my dad is a retired teacher and it's the only work he understands, no other things. Exactly. People can be there and and they will have to upgrade. That's why I tell people, upgrade your skill. Dayo Arthur ate amateur wali mulowoza amateur achivuddemu. So yes guys, whenever you can get a new skill, get it. Because let me tell you one thing, people like me that know marketing, that know customer service, are entering businesses where they have no idea. Like you see carpenters, bantu tebali reliable. They I will tell you that you can order a bed from a carpenter and I'm going to give it to you next week. Najikuwa 6 months later. Babajikuwadde. So people that know how to do reliability, if they enter that business, a carpenter again getting out of business. That's why people keep buying things from like Nina Interiors or Chitegera, because those people they deliver, they know what a customer means. But next week you're going to get your piece, you will get it. You get. So whenever you can skill up, guys, you can get a new skill. Go and get that new skill, or you get your collar, so that at home you're not stuck with nothing to do. Guys, thank you very much for being here. I have to go. Yeah, so wait for the upload today evening at 5. I know a very good and reliable carpenter, but he's a bit expensive. Exactly. Reliable people are expensive. Reliable people are always expensive. That's why I told you nze ngenda kuwa namba ya makanika wange na ya charging a consultation ngatanda bakwata ku moroka yo osoka no mwa consultation we aleme kubba okitegera bwasanga mu ekyo okukanika atera nakyo kisasulira. That's just how it is. That's how professional people be. So the carpenter that is so JK, I would recommend, tell that carpenter to actually come to this live ajirabe okitegera ye yogereko okitegera. They can actually share their details here, and the sigana muntu ku sharinga. What I normally don't want to do is for me to actually share contacts of a person that I've not worked with. That's why I'm saying that I'm recommending this mechanic, but this is how he works. Okitegera olimegamba nti ate atayampadde mechanical webbe because mumanyidde bano ba mechanic ate abababba no babba nga togenderedde tomanyi nti akubba naye nga akolaki nga akubba. So for that mechanic, of course I can't type the contact here, but you have to WhatsApp me for me to share, because I want to share it privately so that I know na sharing no. Okitegera. Why? Because if I share it on the page, abantu bangi bajja kugifuna. N'abantu batakozeeko batandika okugamba makanika wa Arthur mubbi. because they want to spoil my brand, they want to spoil the mechanics brand. So I will share the contact privately for the guys that probably have had a bad experience with the mechanic and you want to find a mechanic that is reliable. Now, yeah, I have a mechanic for Mercedes Benz, I have a mechanic for Toyota. Sina makanika wa Suzuki, sina makanika wa Honda, sina makanika wa Mazda, sina makanika wa Ford, sina makanika wa Mitsubishi. Ze moroka zitategerekeka. Sina makanika bazo. I have a mechanic for Mercedes Benz, Kasim. I have a mechanic. I have many mechanics for Toyota. So katigobo nkubira nongamba njagala kino I know mechanic to give you. But I have a mechanic in town that I know is all round nga wabongo or you're charging a consultation. So what you got access to a consultation, I also have mechanics that don't charge consultation. Nenga weba kubba manyanti basobolo kubba naye todda n'ogamba mbu ate Arthur you gave me a mechanics number shoko ya mitwalo 10 n'ajinguza 2. That's how they make money. Okitegeera. So but I have to go guys. But thank you very much for being here. It really means a lot. It really means a lot that I do this live and many of you turn up. Atene mubeerawo, atene muengaginga. I don't take it for granted. JK, thank you for being number 1 today. Yeah. Martha, thank you. Kenneth, thank you. Ivan, Seth, Sarah, Joanne. Bana isina guzayo ku mukazi moroka. Women, come, let me sell you cars. Come, I sell you cars. Hey. You Mose, Nathan, and then this person that tried spamming, Patrick, Isaac. I had 2 Isaacs today. Rawlings, Mazda's vehicle. Zileke Salmin, Martin, Salmin, then Dennis. Yeah, I think I had 2 or 3 Isaacs today. Victor, Zach, Ismail, Muhammad. Thank you, Arthur, for making us love our old cars to save more money to do other things. You're welcome. Yeah, I think those are all the people. Kingfish, Kish fellow. Yeah, Chris Da Vinci, Jules. Yeah, Jules, long time by the way. Okusiba engine efuwa chika sente meka. It depends on which engine, by the way, Jules. If you want to overhaul the engine, bagenda jisiba, it depends. But if it's a VVTi engine, I don't recommend that you overhaul a VVTi engine. But no, just buy a new engine. That's why I'm buying a new engine for my. And for all engines generally, I recommend that you buy a new engine if you can afford. Only overhaul an engine if you cannot afford to buy a new engine. But if you can buy a new engine, I always recommend that you buy a new engine. If you can afford a new engine, buy one. Any day, I would definitely recommend it. Yeah. So guys, I have to go. Thank you very much for being here. It really means a lot. I'm going to upload the video about me that has details of me repairing this car yesterday. I even have videos of me going to Toyota. I snack myself taking videos. Yeah. So, but thank you very much for being here. It really means a lot. Share this channel with your friends. Share the videos with your friends. And don't forget, I do pre-purchase inspections. Rushing amount is kuguze moroka because mumutima go bonobo ogule moroka jagamba Arthur yanguze moroka era yanguze moroka nungi oba Arthur yanguze moroka embi okitegeera. That's why when I'm helping people buy cars, I actually do the math. And I'm moroka eno ogiguze sente zino, but you're going to do this and this and this and this and this and this. Okitegeera. No manya sente zogenda oteka mu kugitereza to perfection. Okitegeera. So it's important that I do those things so that omutakamba Arthur wanguze moroka ate nensanga nyino kola kino na kino na kino na kino na kino na kino ngatete wabingamba okitegeera. So that's why I tell people what they are going to do okitegeera. So but anyway, thank you very much. I also sell tracking devices for your car to be safe. A tracking device is very important. Moroka ibajiba toba nyona stress egama ati ati najija before you even report to police. You first track your car, nogenda ku police and you tell the OC mpayo omusirikale tugenda tufune moroka yange bajibi na enjira be eri wano okitegeera. That's why you need to install tracking devices. And we install a tracking device in place that even you will forget where we put it. And when we install a tracking device for you, we tell you togamba muntu yenna that you have a device in here, because abo bogamba ate bagenda okujja bakole ki baginone bagibbe. So don't tell anyone that you have a tracking device in your car. Sirika gulaze oberenge moka yo sobola okumanya onna weeri, you can actually turn it off remotely okitegeera. Nabe moroka enkadde nammwe musobola okukikola notabeera na stress, you get. Okay, so guys, I have to go. Thank you very much. It means a lot. And see you tomorrow morning. Ciao.